Welcome to the East First Street Interchange and I-35 widening project public hearing. The following is a presentation to review the environmental assessment recently completed for this interchange and interstate corridor. The study is necessary to comply with federal project development guidelines. This project started in 2008 when the City of Ankeny and the Iowa DOT completed an Interchange Justification Report, or IJR, to evaluate the justification for improvements to the East First Street and I-35 interchange. In 2014, an amendment to the IJR was completed and used updated traffic volume forecasts to evaluate a diverging diamond interchange configuration. The IJRs did not include the environmental components required for federal funding. Tonight, this public hearing will explain the purpose and need for the project. We'll take your input on the signed environmental assessment, or EA. We would like your input on the project's impacts that this study has determined to be minor, legally referred to as de minimis. The purpose of this project is to provide adequate roadway operations within the project area and to provide efficient and safe access to I-35 from the arterial street network. The proposed project is needed to improve traffic operations within the project area and improve traffic safety on local streets and the I-35 corridor within the project area. This project includes approximately 4 miles of I-35 from the Northeast 36th Street interchange south to the Orlabor Road interchange, and 1 mile of East First Street from Hayes Drive to east of Frisk Drive. East First Street is largely commercial and residential, while the I-35 corridor runs through a mixture of residential, commercial, recreational, and rural areas. 6 different interchange alternatives were developed in the study process. Your input and project team discussions brought us to the proposed alternative, identified as the preferred alternative in the EA. This alternative met the purpose and need for the proposed project, with minimal impact to Heritage Park and minimal right-of-way impacts to commercial and residential property. The EA document does not require final design to match the current proposed alternative. The EA looks at the footprint for impacts and specifies requirements to meet federal guidelines. The City of Ankeny and Iowa DOT would make final design decisions within the area cleared through the EA. The project's effects on public recreation areas must be considered and documented in the EA. The purpose of the Section 4F Federal Code is to protect these types of resources from being permanently converted to transportation use. It has been determined that the impacts of this project on these resources are minimal. A de minimis impact means that the effects on public parks and recreation areas are minimal, or that the project will have no adverse effect on these resources. This figure illustrates the impact the proposed project will have on Heritage Park that has been determined to be minimal. The project includes the construction of a trail along the south and east boundary of the park property, to provide a safe route for pedestrians and cyclists to travel across I-35. The facility is considered an enhancement to the city's park system and to Heritage Park. The EA document finds this project is necessary for safe and efficient travel within this corridor. The Federal Highway Administration signed the document on October 7, 2015. You may comment on the document through December 29, 2015. A finding of no significant impact, or FONSI, is the next and final step in the federal approval process, and that should be completed by the spring of next year. This allows the city and Iowa DOT to move ahead with the design of the project. The City of Ankeny, along with the Iowa DOT, will determine final design decisions. The final design will meet the purpose and need for the EA and fit within the impact area provided in this document. However, final decisions on modifications would be made during the final design phase of the project. The East First Street and I-35 preferred interchange alternative is currently identified in the 2016 through 2020 Transportation Improvement Program. Starting with $1.7 million in fiscal year 2017 for the purchase of right-of-way, $13.9 million in fiscal year 2018 for new bridges, grading, and paving, $14.8 million in fiscal year 2019 for grading and paving, and $24.2 million in fiscal year 2020 for new bridges, new culverts, and grading and paving. If you have any questions or comments after this meeting, you can direct them to Tony Gustafson at the Iowa Department of Transportation's District 1 office in Ames at 1020 South 4th Street, or Mark Miller with the City of Ankeny at 220 West 1st Street. You can also direct your comments to the emails listed on the screen, or by telephone at the numbers listed.